this meeting, the purpose of this meeting is to provide Essex residents and businesses with the opportunity to provide their feedback and concerns relating to COVID-19.
You can only support local for so long if you can't pay for the roof over your head.
HowFit had over 13,000 check-ins in both locations with a recorded 0 cases of COVID. During the very first lockdown, I had 3 of our members call to commit suicide.
No consistency anywhere and double standards everywhere. From health advisors to mayors and the premier himself, it's certainly a do what I say, not what I do policy. Again, fine, show us the logic on why you're shutting us down, and they can't, and they won't. So on behalf of any business owner I know, we want to open.
I believe that gyms, fitness studios are being unfairly and unjustly discriminated against. Truth be told, one of the main comorbidities of people that are passing away of COVID are obesity. So
for God's sakes, let them open and get their living back, because this is insane. It's not logical. It can't be supported in science, and we should continue this pressure.
We proved that I can operate safely. So saying that we're all in this together, but not doing anything to help people, that doesn't show that we're all in this together. I'm all in it by myself right now. So there needs to be some type of balanced approach so good people like me don't have to become criminals in order to feed their family.
We have to make the case that a lot of these businesses and need to be open for the mental health as it is. I mean, we're asked to stay at home right now. We're asked to abide by restrictions, and we're snapping left and right, and our family members are taking the brunt of it.
Someone in the Ford government doesn't believe that I'm essential. I've got moms begging me to let me take pictures of their children, to capture the moments that they have been waiting and praying for.
I hope they realize we are trying, and it's not an easy situation, and I wish that our council could make its own decision on who can be open and who can't, but we cannot.
Like right next door to us, there's a massage therapist that can offer services, and we cannot. So that's very disturbing to me. They can wear masks and give massages. We give Reiki treatments and energy treatments, and those are for mental and physical stress relief, which is very needed.
And don't tell me people can just go outside or exercise at home. Quite frankly, it's an ignorant statement and doesn't take into account one's personal accommodations, injuries, therapeutics of being at the gym or with a trainer, potential risk of injury, and so on.
Nobody's asking to be declared green. They're not asking, okay, tell me I can open my gym, or tell me I can open my studio, and I'll just go like I was going 2 years ago. That's not what they're asking for. They're still going to work the restrictions. And I think it's important that that's what they're asking. All they're asking for is the opportunity to be open and to provide the service to their people that really need them.
But so just as we were climbing the ladder to success, COVID has pretty much choked us.
If you have suggestions, please let us. This is the format. This is you're here tonight to do that, because we're not suggesting we have the answers. We're hoping you can help us come to solutions.
I think it's more than just the owners. It's the people that go to the places that need the escapes, just to have so that they can function and try and stay sane, I guess.
My job is very time sensitive. These pictures have to be taken in a certain amount of time. And for some may not feel that this is an essential service, but to these parents, it is. To me, it is. I want to get back to work. I want to do what I love, and I want to pay my bills without, like Amy saying, becoming a criminal to feed my family.
You know, I have a lot more fondness for small business and the private sector than I do for any government. And if it was up to me who to close, it wouldn't be the private sector. But we're kind of trapped here too. You know, the healthcare professionals, they're a monopoly, they're a juggernaut, and they've all circled the wagons on not accepting any criticism or listening to any questioning from politicians about what the proper measures are supposed to be. And
I know these people are doing the best they can. I know they don't want to have anyone get COVID at their place, and being a small business owner.
When did they decide to toss out their own research and statistics regarding physical, emotional, and mental health and well-being from over the past few decades? If I had to pick a date, all reason went out the window, it would be March 23rd of this past year when we were first mandated to close our doors.
That you get depression, and I know a few people that have committed suicide because they can't handle this lockdown.
Nobody coming in, no money coming in.
You're going to spend the extra money and you're worried about closing again.
Sorry that I'm crying. I'm just hearing the stories of other locals. It's breaking my heart.
Even if you live under a rock, it's understood by the general population and professionals alike that the services we offer help people build upon their health, which in turn combats comorbidity. We are essential, especially in a time like this. I'd like you to do the same thing I'm doing. I'm advocating for all small businesses and people in the community that they have had to deal with the inconsistencies and lack of common sense. If each of you could apply pressure higher up and we could start getting somewhere. It's been said, you've got to keep fighting like the third monkey trying to get onto Noah's Ark. And isn't that exactly it?
But some of the decisions our government has made with respect to who's essential and who isn't just does not make any sense. If you put bread on the table and you're a sole proprietor and you have no employees, you're essential to your family. If you have employees, 2, 3, 4, 20, doesn't matter, and they have to put food on the table and they rely on the job that you provide them, then you're essential. Doesn't matter what the product is.
Everything, clothing, everything, toys. I mean, it's not fair. And I agree with you 100%. It's not fair to the small businesses and they're not getting a fair shake. But I will personally be in Congress, Lewis himself and Taras to push for small business. So
yes, Mr. Mayor, but I'd also like to talk about our delegations. We're not too pressed for time.
Councillor Bondi, when I set up the meeting, it was to listen to input from all the delegations, and we were going to take all notes down and then go from there. I was going to approach the senior levels from there.
We cannot.
Councillor Bondi, I set up the meeting, and that's the way the meeting was set up.
Wow.
It's not wow, Councillor Bondi. I mean, if you want to ask some of the delegates questions, go ahead, Councillor. But we all know where they're coming from. We know their struggles, and what more can we do? I mean, I'm willing to go to the senior levels of government and sit down with them, Councillor Bondi. I mean, I don't know where you want to go from here.
I don't know, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to talk and say something about our delegations coming forward. And you seem to be wanting to hurry, and it's only 10 after 5.
I'm not hurrying it, Councillor Bondi. I know what the struggles they're going through. We listen to them. We listen to the struggles, okay? I know what they're going through. I've talked to a lot of them. But if you want to ask them,
the businesses that I invited here tonight, because all of the businesses here are ones that I invited. Not a single other councillor invited a business that's here. And
I'll tell you one. Okay, we'll allow you to speak, Councillor, but don't you ever come at me and say, "Wow." When I set this meeting up, to listen to the small businesses. That's what I did. I set it up to listen to the small businesses, which we did, and I know they're struggling. I know they are. We all know they are. So if you want to ask them questions, I'm fine with that. But what more can be said? We know where they stand. We know what the situation is. We know they're struggling financially. We know it. We want to help them.
A lot more can be said and a lot more can be done.
Go ahead, Councillor. If you think you can do more, go ahead, Councillor. Go ahead.
I would like to find out if any of our small businesses that are on Zoom with us are having any roadblocks with any of the provincial grants, and what other grants can we lobby the province for? Because some of these small businesses that are talking to us right now are falling through the cracks because they're somewhat new businesses. We need to see if there's other things that we could do. I would also like us as a council to start a small business task force. And I would like to be on that small business task force. There's a whole lot more we could do when you're willing and able.
Please call me. My phone number is 890-2381. Give me a call and let me know, or you can email me. I just don't like getting lambasted by a certain councillor every time we turn around and do something. So, but anyways.
Advise the provincial government that there are these people that are falling through the cracks and that it's not fair. These businesses are forced to be closed. If you're going to offer some financial support, find a way to capture every situation, not just as many as you can. Everybody should be caught. If you're going to tell somebody they're going to close and they're not going to have a means of paying their bills, the government should be assisting those businesses at this point in time.
Anyone that I've talked to anyway, we're not looking for more handout. We're not. we want to get back to work, and we are doing it safely. We've proved that we're doing it safely. It's not about the handouts and the money and the grants. We want to open because the data shows we're safe. We're the ones who have zero on our numbers.
We're pretty much obligated by law to take the advice from experts. But my advice to small businessmen and anyone struggling, not businessmen, business people, is to take the fight to the people who really are behind this lockdown. And it's not just Ontario, as you can see, it's all over Europe, it's all over most of the States, it's most of Canada. We're all being screwed to the same level in most jurisdictions. So we have to take the fight to the medical community. We all know doctors and nurses and administrators. We have to take the fight to them and to their unions, and most of all to the public health unit, which seems to have, the health unit seem to wield the most power in this. And we'll back you up, but you've got to take that fight to them as well, because they're in charge of this. We aren't. We're powerless too.
And so if they're not going to open us, they need to provide the data, which I know doesn't exist, that shuts us down, but they're not doing that, and they're not being transparent with that. And that's something we've come against.
This is provincial, right? So we really, I'm all up for having another meeting with our MPP and saying, okay, this is what we're hearing, and really start brainstorming. And just, people need people right now. At the library, people are calling and they're talking to people for 20 minutes. Things are not good right now. People are not okay right now. And I just, I want to thank you, Mr. Hare, for calling this meeting.
You pressure me there, and I, Councillor Bondi, I really don't appreciate it. You know I'm working with the small businesses. You know I want to see the small businesses open. You know that. I don't want to see a small business close. I don't think it's fair when I can drive and see big box stores open, selling every damn thing in the store, and these small businesses are closed. And you know what? The unfortunate part about this, a lot of them aren't going to reopen. And that's the sad part. It's not fair. And I agree 100%. It's not fair.